This is Daz the cameraman. Today is Sunday the 11th of May 2014 and today I'm bringing you proof, 100% proof that DarkSkyWatcher74 did not film an impact on the moon creating new impact craters.
On the evening of March 19th, 2014 at 11:56 p.m. the moon was bombarded with large objects. All the way through the next morning, March 20th at 12:03 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, we recorded multiple impacts on the lunar surface, leaving new craters across the moon. NASA hasn't said anything. JPL hasn't said anything. Mainstream hasn't touched this. NASA hasn't touched this. JPL hasn't touched this. Debunkers haven't touched this. The new craters on the moon are 100% undeniable. I don't care what telescope you get out, point it there, and there's new craters. We have the imagery after the fact. So why is everybody so quiet? What is it, guys? That's the question, and that's why NASA's silent. You ready to step up to the plate and take the Dark Sky Watcher challenge, NASA? Because I'm calling you out.
Not surprisingly, after I stepped up to the plate and accepted the DarkSkyWatcher74 challenge to debunk his video, DarkSkyWatcher spat the dummy and issued the following video.
What's up, everyone? It's Dark Sky Watcher. This video is going out to Daz the cameraman. Daz G, you emailed me. Dude, stop touching my videos. Quit trying to make your channel about doing videos off of my videos. It's old already, bro. Here's your imagery. If you don't like it, that's tough. You're gonna deal with what everyone else has. This imagery, shot 2 days after the fact, there it is. Aren't you an astronomer, bro? Get out your own damn telescope, point it at the moon, and go confirm it. Don't talk to me about, I want the video. Dude, get your ass out there, get your own telescope, go take your own video, then come back to me, dude.
Hello YouTube, this is Daz the cameraman. Today is Saturday the 10th of May 2014 and last night I was down at the observatory with the 14-inch Meade LX10 taking images of the moon. Tonight I'm at home with the 8-inch Meade LX10 and we'll be doing some photography a little later on when it's a bit darker, as we can see. If I bring the camera up, you can see the moon there. So we'll be looking for these craters that Dark Sky Watcher claims have been formed on the moon as a result of an impact that he claims to have filmed on the 20th of March 2014. This is a 8-inch scope, Meade LX10, and it's motor driven. It's got tracking on it. It's not a go-to scope, but it's a great little scope for astrophotography, and I'll be putting the Canon 60DA on the scope later on, and we'll see if we can find these craters that Dark Sky Watcher claims to have imaged. More to come later. So here we are looking at the moon through the 8-inch Meade LX10. It is Saturday the 10th of May 2014 and as you can see there's a very prominent white crater down in the lower left area of the moon as we see it, and if you look directly above that crater, which is called Copernicus, you'll see some white lines radiating away from Copernicus. So directly above that crater we see two lines. There's one shorter one on the left and one longer one on the right. If we follow the shorter one on the left, we see that just to the left of that line, just at the top of that line, is a small crater which is called Lambert crater. And then just to the right of that we see the longer line which extends further than Lambert crater. Now if we take a line between Lambert crater and the end of the second longer line, draw a line between it and dissect it in the middle, then that is precisely where Dark Sky Watcher claims his new impact crater lies. Now as far as we can see from this view, there is certainly no new impact crater there, but we're going to take a closer look and see if we can find anything. Okay, now we're in crop movie mode, so we're looking in a lot closer. This isn't HD, but we can get in closer. And again, the crater to the lower left that we see is Lambert crater. and you can see to the right in the centre there that line that extends out from Copernicus. And if we draw that line between Lambert and the end of that line, we can see that there are no new craters there. There's nothing there that wasn't there before, no new impact craters. Next we're going to look at some still images. I'm going to take some still images. Okay, here is one of several images that I've taken of the moon. I'm editing this the next day, so this was last night, Saturday 10th of May 2014. And let's take a closer look at the moon. I'm going to zoom in on this high definition image. This is an 18 megapixel image, 5184 by 3456 pixels. So let's zoom in as far as we can and take a closer look at this area, see if we can find any craters. Now we're zoomed in as far as I can zoom in Camtasia, and once again with this 18 megapixel still image we can see that there are no new craters. We've got Lambert crater there just below centre, and the area that we're looking at is called Dorsa Still, and there are no new impact craters. Next I'm going to compare this with high resolution images from moon maps, and we'll compare the images and see if there are any differences. So here we are looking at a very high resolution moon map. We're looking at the area here that DarkSkyWatcher claims was impacted by what he is now calling a hypervelocity object. The trajectory of the object came in about here and tracked in a line across this way and disappeared from view about here. So I'm going to turn on some labels so we can see where we're at, and I'm going to zoom in to Lambert crater, which is just there, and let's have a look. There it is, Lambert crater. And if I move this down a bit, so you can see that line that radiates away from Copernicus crater, and there's Lambert crater. So if we draw a line between the top of that line and Lambert crater, then right in the middle there is where DarkSkyWatcher74 was claiming was a new impact crater. This is the area known as Dorsa Still. Okay, now by measuring the pixels and the imagery that DarkSkyWatcher74 had uploaded, I was able to estimate the size of his object as being approximately 7 miles or about 9 kilometers in diameter. So let's do a little comparison here. I'm going to measure the crater Lambert from wall to wall, and this is in kilometers. So we're looking at around about 28 kilometers from wall to wall for this crater. Okay, now by comparison, the object that we saw in the video, which was in fact a bird, would have been around about 6 miles in diameter when we measure the pixels. So we would expect that there would be a fairly sizable crater left by such an object travelling. The calculation that I did had the object travelling at 404 miles per second. Now the fastest meteors are up there at about 70 miles per second. Now when we do the calculations on DarkSkyWatcher's object, it's actually travelling at about 400 miles per second, which is impossible. Now you can imagine if something travelling that fast, that big, hit the moon, it would leave one hell of a crater, and we're not seeing anything in the imagery. So it is very clear from my images from last night and my video, and also the many images that are coming in from the Dazza the Cameraman Global Skywatch network of astronomers, sorry I couldn't help myself there Paul, that there are no new impact craters in the area where DarkSkyWatcher74 claims that there are new impact craters. But just to be really sure, let's compare the image that DarkSkyWatcher included in his video, this one here, which I've brought into paint.net and overlaid, and see how they compare. So there it is. If I flick backwards and forwards, I've got the opacity on so we can see through, and we can see that the images are lined up. Now I'm going to zoom in so that we've got a better view. I'm going to center that. Okay, so let's switch that picture off and on again so we can compare the background. You can see where DarkSkyWatcher has the area circled where he claims that there's a new crater, and we can clearly see that there is no crater. No crater at all. Everything is just as it was before. Now, of course, this was only one of 3 craters that DarkSkyWatcher74 claims to have identified, but I'll be following up on the other 2 craters as new images come in. And as for NASA not touching this, come on, why would NASA want to bother with something as silly as a bird flying across in front of your camera? In fact, I think you really owe me an apology, DarkSkyWatcher74. Me, NASA, JPL, David Aguila from Harvard University, all of your subscribers and viewers, and let's not forget the man on the moon too. DarkSkyWatcher74, you have been owned. As always, do check out my Facebook discussion page, Voices of Reason to Explain X or VORTEX. You'll find a link in the description area. Thank you for watching. Hello YouTube, this is Dazza the Cameraman. Today is Sunday the 11th of May 2014, and today I'm bringing you proof, 100% proof, that DarkSkyWatcher74 did not film an impact on the moon creating new impact craters.
On the evening of March 19th, 2014, at 11:56 p.m., the moon was bombarded with large objects. All the way through the next morning, March 20th, at 12:03 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, we recorded multiple impacts on the lunar surface, leaving new craters across the moon. NASA hasn't said anything. JPL hasn't said anything. Mainstream hasn't touched this. NASA hasn't touched this. JPL hasn't touched this. Debunkers haven't touched this. The new craters on the moon are 100% undeniable. I don't care what telescope you get out, point it there, and there's new craters. We have the imagery after the fact. So why is everybody so quiet? What is it, guys? That's the question, and that's why NASA's silent.